I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. All right, we are at a very pivotal time in terms of what's happening politically in our nation. If you're watching what's happening with Kevin McCarthy, who wants to be Speaker of the House more than I want to serve Jesus, that boy wants to be Speaker. But it appears that he is 5 votes away from making that event take place. And what he's going to have to do, or the hoops he's going to have to jump through in order to be able to achieve that very lofty position as third in position to be President of the United States of America, it appears that we're going to end up with Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, but the deals he's going to have to make is going to leave our nation in just what Jesus prophesied. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that Bible talk. Y'all don't want to hear nothing about no tribulation, and most of y'all don't believe in God, and, you just don't. And if you do believe in God, you believe he's a God of convenience. And all this tribulation talk I've been talking about, and nation against nation and kingdom against nation, we don't want to hear that. But the other item is this, is that the reality of it is that it's a pretty tight fight between what I will refer to as the son of Satan and the servant of Satan in Barack Hussein Obama, and of course in tribulation Trump. So it's going to be a very nasty America going forward. The world is erupting. If you look at what's happening in China, it's almost unbelievable that the Chinese youth out in the street asking for Xi Jinping to step down as the communist leader. And then, of course, you've got the same kind of protest in Russia, and you got the war in Ukraine. We've got winter coming on. And we've got economic crisis here in America. We've got business people who are absolutely outright thieves. So I think that what we see going on here in America and across the globe right now is all tied into the tribulation prophecy. But I wanted to be able to express that in terms of where we're going to be 6 months from now. Could be an entirely new world with the Republicans running the House. And of course, the other thing is that they're going to indict Donald Trump. The liberal media and the liberal Democrats, they are in they think they're on a roll right now, and they're going to listen. Fonnie Willis down in Atlanta, Georgia, has been able to get Lindsey Graham and Mark Meadows, who've got to testify before that grand jury. They're going to indict Trump in Georgia. It's going to be a very serious indictment for Trump to try to prove that he wasn't trying to bribe or change the outcome of a federal election. It's going to be much up road. And the matter of the documents in Mar-a-Lago is a pretty open and shut case. I mean, there's not much there that a lawyer can get his teeth in. It's just a matter of when Jack Smith and Merrick Garland are going to drop the indictments, and Trump going to have to, appear before a judge in handcuffs. Now, I'm not saying this gleefully, understand? I'm not saying this, I'm trying to get somewhere. Just listen to me before we make any judgments about me. And then, of course, the media network is stirring up this dinner that Trump had with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West as if it was if it was hell itself having come to dinner. While you may disagree with Nick Fuentes, communist ideologies, these same people running around here that in the liberal media, these Eddie Glaudes and these Cornel West and all these other Van Jones are running around here talk about how awful it is for Trump to have met with Nick Fuentes. But the Black America still cherishes a communist named Paul Robeson, and they still cherish a communist named Angela Davis. Now, here, I'm just being the quintessential James David Manning. I'm just trying to give you some historical context. They still, and many people that were Even Dr. King was very much involved in some, if you will, dabbling in communist ideology. And then the granddaddy of all of this is that Nelson Mandela was an avowed Marxist communist. He was an avowed communist Marxist. And that they lifted him up, gave him great honor, bring him to the church and, and compare him as a great leader. And yet he was a communist. Nelson Mandela was a communist leader, demonstrated. Yet you got the Van Jones and the Eddie Glauds and all the rest of them. You've seen that parade of house-nosed Negroes, pinch-nosed Negroes all on television everywhere. And then you got all these Jakes, if you will, and Shemites, that is Jewish people, talking about how awful it was for Trump to sit down with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West. How awful it was for him to have done that. But and I'm not saying that Trump should have done that. I'm just trying to say, where's the justice here? Where's the justice? You said, Pastor, man, what's wrong with you, man? He's former president. He's the president. It's one thing if Eddie Glaude sits down with Nelson Mandela or Barack Obama sits down with Nelson Mandela, whoever else sits down with a communist. But if the president of the United States, I don't know that there's a big difference. I don't know, the guy who owns Branson Airlines who sat down with Nelson Mandela, they all were friends. I mean, I don't see the big deal. What I do see is a lot of hypocrisy with the media controlling a certain aspect of it. And I'm just here being the quintessential James A. Manning. I'm not for Trump. Everybody knows that. But I want to, let me tell you. Okay, yeah, all right, finally. You made me say it. Here it is. The truth has no friends except for those that are free. Truth has two enemies, lies and power. Power is the breath of the wicked, and lies are as popular as air. Okay, there you made me say that. So I'm not here supporting Trump and Nick Fuentes. I'm not here supporting Van Jones and Nelson Mandela or anybody else and Angela Davis. I'm not here supporting them. Or James Baldwin, who also was a communist, or Paul Robeson. These are all black people. They were black communists. I'm not here supporting them. I'm just saying this, that truth, which is what I'm speaking, has no friends, except for those who've been set free. And Jesus said in John's Gospel, chapter 8, verse 32, you shall know the truth. Who has had dinner with communists before Donald Trump had dinner with a communist? You should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Listen, let me tell you something. A moment ago, I was talking to you about Oath Keepers and Stuart Rhodes and everybody, and I went on, I ain't gonna be nobody's hypocrite. But, and I would have never participated in the insurrection. I never would have participated in January 6th. But can I tell you something? Can I tell you that Angela Davis and a couple of her communist friends shot up a courtroom in Marion County, California, to set free her boyfriend that was in prison for armed robbery. Angela Davis, a communist. But she's a black woman. Some say she's a good-looking black woman. Communist as they come. That's right. Paul Robeson, great voice, but communist, and saw communist Marxist ideas. Nelson Mandela, biggest communist with a black face anywhere on the planet. So I'm simply saying that, the truth has no friends. And the problem with Pastor Manning is that he speaks the truth. That's the problem with Pastor Manning. He speaks the truth. And as a result of that, truth has no friends. That's right. Except for those that have been set free, as Jesus said. The truth has two enemies, lies and power. And power is the breath of the wicked. They want power. You've heard the expression, speaking truth to power. And that's what I do. Doesn't matter, you're the president, you're the king, you're potentate, or you some bum laying in the street. Pastor Manny speaks truth. Power. And power is the breath of the wicked. And lies are as popular as and everybody, we live in the kingdom of lies. This is Satan's kingdom. Jesus said in John's Gospel, chapter 18, verse 36, this ain't my kingdom. Then whose is it? It's Satan's kingdom. That's what it is. This world we're living in. And it's a kingdom of lies. So a person like me that speaks truth, well, at any rate, I thought it needs to be said that, what are we going to say about all the people that knew that? I got a text from TMZ last week. And that text from TMZ said that Kanye West was showing naked, vulgar, pornographic pictures of Kim Kardashian to all the workers at Adidas and other places. Now, you can check this out I'm not spreading misinformation here, you algorithm people. You can check this out with TMZ. They're the ones that said it. Now, more recently, CNN and the other liberal outlet, MSNBC, saying that Kanye West, that Adidas and others are saying that Kanye West was difficult to work with, that he was rude and a bunch of other things. But they haven't mentioned the fact that he was showing his wife's, family jewels to all the boys that work at Adidas, that they got a first-hand up-close look at Kim Kardashian's you-know-what, from every angle. So now. But all the time they were doing this, nobody said a word about how awful Kanye West was. And everybody's still promoting him. Let me tell you something. They're running Kanye West into the ground now, but let me tell you something. They knew who Kanye West was all the time. They just tried to keep it under wraps. They knew Kanye West was anti-Semitic. They knew Kanye West spoke his mind. They knew that all along. Adidas knew it all along. JP Morgan, Chase Bank, they knew it all along. All the rappers knew it. The hell, everybody else knew it as well. They just tried to keep it under wraps. Because communists or not, the boy was making money for them. Big money for them. And money was more important, whether you're an anti-Semite or not. You can be an anti-Semite all you want. But if you can bring in $1 billion to our corporation, we'll let you be an anti-Semite. Just keep it on the down low. I don't know why that phone is doing that. I got it on, that mode where it's not supposed to ring. You see how hypocritical they are? So now Trump sits down with him. I'm not even sure what Trump like him or not, but Trump sits down when all of a sudden the world is on fire. Hell has arrived at Mar-a-Lago, and now it's burning all over the liberal media. No, my friends, I think we need to take a closer look. We need to know the backstop and the backstory of all of this. I remember Angela Davis, and I studied Paul Robeson, and I lived through Nelson Mandela. They're all communists. But they're revered, they're taught in the black schools, they're taught as a part of black history, they are elevated. And so was W.E.B. Du Bois. But ain't nobody saying nothing wrong. That Eddie Glaude and all the rest of them sitting down and praising these communists, because they're all communists. And I'm not here defending Nick Fuentes. I don't even know the man. I'm not here defending Trump. I'm just speaking the truth. And that's what set me free. I'm just speaking the truth, which has very few friends. And I'm speaking truth to power. So now let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. Joe Biden, my time, went over there and fist bumped with MBS over there in Saudi Arabia the other day after he hacksawed Jamal Khashoggi in Turkey, cut him up, put him in little pieces and fed him to the fish. And yet Joe Biden goes over there to this Muslim and fist bumps with him. And that's okay. That's all right. It's okay to do that. But nah, don't sit down to dinner with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West. All right, so That's where we are. I'm James A. Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. I'm the Lord's servant. I'm the quintessential American.